2, and we are live. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much
Hello.
for joining. Welcome to SheBuilds Tech Skills North America. And for those who are new, we focus on empowering women in the technology through community, mentorship, and learning opportunities. And for every episode, we spotlight our female leaders who who are driving innovation in the cloud, and where we can learn from their stories, insights, and expertise. I also have an amazing co-host with me, our newest members of SheBuilds, Piali. Can you give a little intro for yourself and what made you join SheBuilds initiative?
Thank you so much, Jigna. I'm so excited to be the part of this particular program. And a little bit about myself. I've been with AWS for about 4.5 years now, but before that, I've spent 20 years in the tech industry outside of AWS. And I've mostly spent my time in the insurance space and financial services space. I joined this program specifically because it's such an amazing way to connect with women in tech and to be a part of this supportive community where we lift each other up. It's all about learning, growing, feeling more confident, and empowering each other. So it's such an amazing platform. So that's the reason I joined SheBuilds.
Awesome, awesome. And to our audience, I would like to, share one cool announcement that from this year, we wanted to add one more track in this. So, which means today, I'm excited to share that we are kicking off a new monthly series that we are doing. Every month, we are going to be diving deep into the what is the latest in the technology and the industry trends, because those keep on changing, right? So how do we stay up to date with that? So every month we'll showcase some of the latest innovations and sharing the fresh insights from the experts, and highlight some of the really cool tools that are designed for the builders and leaders in mind. So yeah, today, since that's the first episode under the track, we'll be talking about one of the recent announcements, where we will talk about mainframe modernization with Amazon Q. And we have a very, very special guest here, Cheryl. Why don't you tell little bit about yourself, and how did you get into this role?
Sure, thank you. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you all. I'm Cheryl Dupree, a solutions architect here at AWS, focus on mainframe modernization and particularly Amazon Q. Mainframe modernization takes many journeys off the mainframe. But a little bit about my background. I started my career as a COBOL developer, had a lot of fun, and went through a mainframe modernization project, which was challenging to say the least, but spent a lot of time and enjoyed the technology challenges won and the opportunities it brought my company after the modernization was done. So decided to switch my career focus to focus on mainframe modernizations. I've been part of our software, worked for one of our software vendors. I've worked for one of our system integrators. But here at AWS, I help advise financial customers on how to move their mainframes to AWS, what the options are, what the paths are. Super exciting for me, though. About 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, working with a large financial customer, and that was really the emergence of Gen AI. And and they were looking for help with how do we make this faster? This is a long process. These are long projects. So how can we improve? So started to get really excited to see what Gen AI can do in this space, and spend a lot of time working with partners, with our product teams on just opening up the possibilities. So Amazon Q became part of that journey.
Awesome, Cheryl. So, one question for you. How do you see the market trends evolving in the financial services industry, especially in the context of mainframe systems?
Sure. I think transformation pressure is becoming more and more on across the board on all
Mhm.
industries. The world is moving faster. Everything it just seems to be accelerating every year. So I think digital transformation, that's way up front and center. That doesn't mean to say there's not stable systems, and mainframes have the core of our business processes in them. So has to be done very thoughtfully and carefully. It's a very stable platform and has been for a long, long time. So I think the digital demands and the need to be agile is what's driving customers to start looking at modernization, along with new native fintech companies. Yep, they operate and started at a different era. They don't have some of the constraints. They could start ground up.
True.
Adding to that, some of the growing skills gap in mainframe expertise. There's always something in the news when that happens. But there is a growing pressure. It is a shrinking pool, not as many young people coming out of college. So, how do we blend the two and make thoughtful use of everybody's time to modernize effectively?
That's
I
true.
guess
That's
you
true.
see it. Yeah.
In general, like, are there any challenges that you see, like the companies face as they continue to rely on, let's say, legacy mainframe systems, and how are these challenges, influencing the modernization strategies?
I think skill set is probably the biggest one. I think the other challenge with mainframe modernizations, those systems have been built over time, largely undocumented. Maybe they were at some point, but it's impossible to keep up with 20, 30, 40 years of customizations. So there is always a lack of documentation in this space. In addition, there is a lack of regression test suites. They You never test end to end in a mainframe modernization until you do a mainframe modernization. As you're making changes to your system over time, you test that new functionality. So I think that's one of the largest areas is just what does it all do? The second piece is cost pressures always come into play. Mainframes are not as elastic as the cloud is. So there's always rising costs there. Customers are always trying to keep their costs neutral and or flat. There are specific licenses. There are proprietary tools on the mainframe which are not commonplace. So there is, yeah. So all those changes come into play. And what really happens in the biggest part of the above is you have slow deployment cycles. Some customers may only release a change once a month. I've worked with several customers where that is. One customer we spoke to said, I don't have any COBOL programmers. I want my Java programmers to maintain the system. They don't understand the language. Sure, it's English like, but there's a lot around mainframe modernizations, not just the code. The code is one piece, but it's the environment that's important too. So those stories are coming up more and more, I think, within conversations with customers.
It's really enlightening to get your perspective on, the difference between how the deployment cycles of a modern system is versus how the deployment cycle of a mainframe system is, and the challenges. So, one thing is generative AI, machine learning is the hype nowadays. So, how do you think the adoption of artificial intelligence and machine learning in general is affecting the modernization of financial systems, and particularly those systems which are on mainframe platforms?
Sure. I think the biggest impact it can make is understanding what the systems do. And whether you are maintaining the COBOL system, whether you're trying to modernize, instead of going to people now to document a program, tell me what it does, you can get that within minutes, hours from a tool. So understanding what it does is crucial to everything we do. So those time consuming tasks and very manual tasks in the past have just now been accelerated with generative AI. That was the biggest impact I saw immediately. You can take away those tasks. Um, that obviously helps people be more efficient in their jobs, and you can use your experts where you really need them. They can spend time on those tasks you can't document. So I see it as a benefit no matter where you are in your mainframe modernization journey. Just want to know what you have, whether you're starting to look transform. It all starts with your understanding of what you have. I think
That's
AI, yeah, AI acts as a powerful support tool just by creating system documentation. Now you're starting to look into, great, now we need to test. Testing is a large part of mainframe modernization projects. Up to 60% of a mainframe modernization project is testing. That's going to get accelerated with Gen AI. I'm not sure we've seen enough tried and true case studies because, again, these projects take years. So we haven't got to the end to say, oh, yes, we accelerated by 30%, 20%, but it absolutely is an accelerator. Can create your test scenarios, map out how you want to test, and really just help fill that knowledge gap so you can use your experts thoughtfully.
Yep, I think I agree with almost everything that you said. So 100% on that. I know like one of the recent announcement that happened was how some of the Gen AI services, like for example Amazon Q, could potentially help in like mainframe modernization. Do you mind diving little bit deep on that, like how it addresses some of the needs of this modernization effort?
Sure. Yeah, what I personally love about Amazon Q, it's an umbrella of tools and products. Not only does it do mainframe modernization, but also VMware and .NET. So that starting point for organizations, they get a common entry point and a common view. Obviously, those processes take three very different paths, but there's a lot of similarity in what we do there too, which I think gives customers a lot of comfort and synergy and know what to expect coming in. It removes a whole lot of manual tasks and talks through that one piece and one platform portfolio, helping you get started very early, pre Amazon Q, to even begin to understand what you have. Typically takes additional software, may take a statement of work, may take modernization experts to guide you on that journey. You can get started now on your journey very easily. That's probably for me the biggest selling point I see for customers. That doesn't end the journey, doesn't get you modernized, but the entry point, very easy to start. And we're going to keep accelerating and improving that journey as we go. It was announced, as you said, a reinvent last year. So definitely early stages of where we want to go with our tool too. So yeah, take a look and keep watching would be my general statement.
Awesome, awesome. Cheryl, this brings me to my next question. Would you be able to share an example with us where Q has actually been successfully implemented to modernize a legacy system? I'm sure there might be many viewers who would like to, go on the same path, and that's probably a burning question for many of our viewers.
Sure. Yeah. So Amazon Q was co-developed with Toyota. Toyota were our reinvent announcement. And really, to do anything at scale, which is AWS is all about how we scale, we wanted to work with a customer who has a broad system and a broad range of everything you see in the COBOL code. Mainframe codes have all sorts of different languages, different databases, different technologies for connectivity. So we really wanted a real world example of a production system. So we COBOLed along with Toyota. They modernized their 45-year-old mainframe system using Q and helped us get to a stage where we could launch a product and feel comfortable on what
Awesome.
that looks like. We continue to work with them. They continue to look for new features, as do we. So they are a trusted partner with us in this space. Also at our launch, we worked a lot with our partners, our key partners, and also have got them up to speed on what it does and have some documentation and what their opinions of Amazon Q and how they see it accelerating. But our biggest success story, I would say, is Toyota. Fun fact I learned just the other day, the mainframe system, same age as the Supra car,
Oh,
which I thought was interesting. Yeah, yeah. Our systems are definitely, some of them have been around a long time. Yeah, at the core of it. They've obviously been changed a lot over those years to meet the business needs, but those stories are not uncommon. People think, yeah, when you look at the age of those systems and what mainframes have done, it's actually incredible. They're running the heart of all our businesses, from
truly.
banking, insurance, airlines, a lot of the retail systems, public sector, all at the heart of what they do is a mainframe. And those mainframes have been running 30, 40 years. So very
Mm.
stable platform for sure. But again, all good things have to change at some point, and I think that's the crossroads where we are now. Out of interest, the video is available as a public reference for those who weren't at reInvent. I think we'll put the resources in at the end of the show. So yeah, it's good to hear directly from Toyota. Yeah, I like hearing customer stories. That's my favorite part of reInvent, is hearing customers stand up with us and tell their journey. I think that it's always very powerful. So
Yep, yep. I just shared that link in the chat, so feel free to take a look and yeah, and tell us like if you could relate to it. Is there anything that you can take back and implement at your side as well? I have a question because I come from like so prior to joining AWS, I was a customer myself. So I was in like development. So I always, whenever something new comes up, like my first question is, when do I have to use it? So, in your experience, can you tell us, like, in what phase of the project should people start using it? Like, and also, like, do they have to, get any knowledge about it? Are there any prerequisites or anything of that sort?
sure. So what phase? Start using it right up front at the beginning in your assessment. There's a wealth of knowledge right there in the assessment. It's making sure you understand what you have. If you really need a deep understanding to modernize the mainframe, you have to know your technology stacks on the mainframe. You have to know how they integrate with other systems. That's where Amazon can come in, Amazon Q can come in and start filling that gap. Now, if you're mid modernization, there's absolutely still gains that can be done there too. So, any stage of the journey, but the best stage is right up front, can get you started. That doesn't mean it's a magic wand. Mainframe modernization is not a magic wand, but it's becoming easier with Gen AI. And we're at the early stages, I think, as a industry in how Gen AI can accelerate mainframe modernization. But there
Awesome.
are some good success stories that are coming through, and a lot of great projects in process across the board.
Awesome. Awesome. Is there a demo or something that we can see? Like, can you show us something?
Yes, I think we do have a demo. It just takes you very briefly end to end through the experience. Yeah, please, let's play the demo.
Yep.
I'm a show me
Showing it
person
right
too.
now.
Yeah.
Let me share it right now.
Modernizing mainframe applications can be a challenging task, but Amazon Q Developer Transform for Mainframe is here to revolutionize the way you approach this journey. Amazon Q Developer Transform for Mainframe is a generative AI-powered agent that accelerates your mainframe modernization journey. Q Developer provides an autonomous, objective-driven approach to application modernization, allowing you to define high-level goals and have Q Developer orchestrate the necessary tools and human actions to analyze, document, decompose, plan, and refactor mainframe applications. Q Developer is able to analyze code, generate documentation, decompose code, provide plan migration sequences, and refactor code. Depending on your objective, Queue Developer can conduct one or multiple of these modernization tasks. Before interacting with Queue Developer, you prepare your mainframe application code, including COBOL source code, JCLs, BMS screens, and DB2 schemas in a S3 bucket. You begin your modernization journey with Amazon Queue Developer through the web interface. To get started, you chat with Queue and define a goal such as perform a mainframe IBM ZOS application migration and modernization to AWS. Amazon Queue Developer understands your ask and proposes a plan for this job. Once you confirm what you'd like to achieve and start the job, Amazon Queue Developer leads the execution of the plan, asking you when information is needed. For example, Queue Developer requests what is the Amazon S3 bucket containing the application code. You enter the AWS account ID and the S3 bucket for this. Queue Developer creates a connector to this bucket. Queue Developer then requests which code specifically you want to migrate and modernize. Queue Developer continues by analyzing the mainframe application code, which leads to the creation of detailed analysis views, including a complete list of classified files with their number of lines of code, a view by type, a view by folder, and a list of missing files based on the dependency analysis. Next, as per the job plan agreed upon with you, Queue Developer continues with generating documentation. For this, it asks the documentation detail level and the specific files which need to be documented. It generates the documentation and stores it in a S3 bucket you can retrieve it from. This documentation details logic and flows, program structure and modules, conditions, and data flows. Continuing the job plan, Queue Developer executes the decomposition task. The decomposition task is critical to break down the large mainframe monolith into smaller domains which can be modernized one after the other within waves. You enter the domain names and semantic inputs, called seeds, for each domain. From this, Queue Developer finds and groups related application assets into business or technical domains. You can visualize the content of each domain. Users have the flexibility to refine domains and seeds to align Queue Developer's proposition to the user need. During the migration wave planning, users can leverage Queue Developer's recommendations for wave sequence planning, prioritizing transformations based on complexity, lines of code, and business priorities. You can customize your modernization waves by editing these priorities. Finally, your job plan includes the code automated refactoring process for the application assets in scope, including programs, screens, and data structures. This process is designed for transforming millions of lines of code, altogether expediting modernization timelines. It refactors mainframe COBOL-based applications into modern Java-based applications. You select the specific domains you want to refactor. Once the process is completed, user will be able to download the Java code for execution. Queue Developer then transforms the application assets. Throughout this journey, Amazon Queue Developer Transformation for Mainframe provides a centralized dashboard to track the status of each modernization phase, enhancing reporting and visibility. Amazon Queue Developer Transform for Mainframe makes it easier to modernize your mainframe applications with scale and speed. Embark on your mainframe modernization journey with confidence.
This was so awesome.
Yep.
It's touched
I
through
think
all
this
the
definitely
points.
paints the picture in such a better way. Awesome. Um, yeah, are there any questions? Cheryl, I would like to open up for you as well.
Sure, I have a question. Now that you've seen and we've spoke for the last half hour, yeah, what do you think? How do you see your customers benefiting from Amazon Q?
Oh wow. I can actually go first. I'm actually working with a couple of enterprises now using Amazon Q Developer to tackle their mainframe modernization efforts. And this video was exactly like this is exactly the process, right? This video actually took you through everything that I have seen the other customers doing, how they are tackling the modernization efforts in a structured and an expertly guided way. Um, at least in my experience, I have seen that as you showed in the video, Q Developer has helped these customers analyze their huge COBOL CICS, VSAM, JCL, and DB2 applications. It's helping them generate documentation and, as you showed, decompose the monoliths into business domains. And that's really powerful because once you have that visibility, you're able to plan your modernization waves and refactor many apps. In many cases, customers are actually thinking, once they have that insights, how can they modernize their tech stack? Like maybe they can move to Java based architectures on ECS. And I'm someone who's very new to mainframe technology, but it's really been exciting to watch how Amazon Q is providing a human in the loop, step by step modernization path, and how many companies are using it to not just understand their apps, but to take a stepwise approach towards modernizing the tech stack. So that's been amazing, and it's exactly the way that you showed in the demo. That's the way they are using it. So really powerful.
I wish I can say plus one to everything. So, whatever Piali said, that's yes, that definitely makes sense. But yeah, like I think this is honestly a huge win for customers who are still running on the previous systems, and mainframe obviously have been around forever, and modernizing them has been tough and time consuming as well, expensive and sometimes risky. So I think our customers are definitely going to be get so much benefit from this. So first of all, thank you so much, Cheryl, for developing this product and helping our customers.
Yeah, I think customers are in various stages on their own modernization journey. Some want to get up fast, some want to modernize as they go. Any and all of those are valid strategies and patterns. What Amazon Q has done for me is taken the learnings and the maturity of our mainframe modernization toolset that we had pre and just accelerating that and just adding and yeah, just keep building. Um, yeah, I guess is my general. It's a fun time to be in mainframe modernization. It's really exciting, and yeah, it's a game changer for me on how generative AI is changing how we do mainframe modernization.
Yeah, and it's probably one of the most difficult things that's left over there to take advantage of, right? Like it's difficult. So let's tackle the difficult problems now.
We're here to help. We have some experience in this area. Yeah.
Totally.
Yep. A few people in the comment section, they commented that they read your blog on strategizing mainframe scheduler migration. I think it was, I'm not sure, but I think it was like a couple of years ago. So they did find that blog also helpful, and with this latest things, I think it's gonna get much more easier.
Excellent.
There is one question from the audience. If you can, just help us answer that. What happens post migration? Like, how can Q or any other service on the AWS side can help or integrate with like the post migration steps? If you can share some lights on that.
Post migration. I think there is so much dependent on what pattern and strategy and plan you are using. I think for me to give you any answer at this point wouldn't satisfy your specific question. My advice to you is though is reach out to your AWS account manager and let's talk to a mainframe modernization expert. Yeah.
Yep. I guess that's the best way to engage with the experts. You have the full team here for you to support. So yeah, just reach out to us, and we can be more than happy to provide a custom steps that you can perform post the migration. Awesome. Thank you so much. Are there any other questions? I'm just looking at the list. Nope. I see some good comments. Thank you so much. All right. I think we are almost at the time. Thank you so much. If there are any other questions, feel free to reach out to us on LinkedIn. I provided all the list of our LinkedIn IDs in the comments, so feel free to connect with us there. You can also drop us an email on SheBuilds email, so that's where you can connect us and have any questions or comments or feedbacks feel free to reach out over there. And yes, with that, thank you so much once again for joining, Cheryl. Your experience and your knowledge that you shared here, it's really, really helpful for everyone. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Cheryl. Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
with
Thank you
us.
so much, everyone. And to our audience, see you next time. Every month, we are going to come up with a new technology or a new announcement. And that way, you can get up to date with latest things and also, hear directly from the experts. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.